One thing that we really don't like to do is read our own writing, and you're not the only person who feels that way. I feel that way about my own writing, but you have to read it out loud if you want to catch mistakes. If you read it to yourself, I don't know, there's probably been research done on this, but if you read it to yourself, you read it correctly. But if you read it out loud, you say, wait, I left a word out, or wait, I put that word in twice. So I'm going to help by going over an actual paper. It is not from this class, it's from another class. But I want to go over this to make sure that you understand what you need to do. I know you don't like to do it, but if you want to get an A on the paper, you're going to have to do it. Okay, first of all, I noticed just looking at this that this is not Times New Roman. So, what I would do is, because I'm going to play like this is mine, I'm going to go ahead and make the corrections. Okay. So, because I'm revising and editing, revise means I maybe reword it or take some things out. Editing means my sentence structure, my spelling, my capitalization, and my punctuation. All right. This person starts out with, and again, I'm going to read it out loud because that's how I notice if I mess something up. Cher once said, comma, and that is correct. You put a comma after that, quotation mark. If fitness came in a bottle, everyone would have a great body, period, in quotation. While that might be humorous, it brings up a good point. Colon. And the colon here means that what follows explains what I mean by good point. Fitness is not something you can take lightly. It is something you should commit to. Finding someone to help you keep that commitment is where I come in. Most people do not realize that being a fitness coordinator is more than just being in the gym all day working out. It includes nutrition planning, exercise routines for different types of people, and more importantly, scheduling. Or most importantly, I'm sorry. All right. So, right here, this person has told us that he or she wants to be a fitness instructor, okay, so a coordinator. And here are the three levels, or it's not actually three levels, it's three aspects of that job, which is more than just standing there and watching somebody exercise. Okay, so far it's good. I like the quote, got my attention. Most of you have who turned in your rough drafts. You have really good quotes. Some of y'all still need to do one or come up with something else that catches my attention. Could be a fact. It could be a statistic. Now remember, the second paragraph is supposed to be the negative side. And this person remember, I gave you five different things you could start out with, and one was some may argue. So this is what this person started out with. Of course, some may argue that being a fitness instructor has many downsides to it, including many of your clients are difficult to work with, pay sometimes does not match your duties, and overly saturated work field that is very competitive. Now, I'm looking at this right now, and if you did a tool spell check, it should catch that this is a sentence fragment. Now you might say, well, wow, Miss Holland, that's almost two lines of text. Oh yeah, it is, but it's not a complete thought. We don't know what is including many of your clients. So you're going to have to put a subject in here. So, of course, some may argue that being a fitness instructor has many downsides to it. Among them are that, okay, so you're starting out with among. Oh, let me go back and do this. Among them are that and I wouldn't even put your in there. You don't, it just in general, many clients are difficult to work with. I probably, because that almost, there is a term called dogma or dogmatic, and that's using always, never, many. What I would do here is it's always safe to say some. Okay. It's not too many, it's not too little, it's just some that are some clients are difficult to work with. Pay sometimes does not match the duties. Again, because I told you you could use the second and first person doesn't mean you have to. And the work field, cut. Okay. Okay, so I cut that and I said the work field, take that out. The is overly saturated and very competitive. Okay, now let's go back and read that again. Again, we caught that only because we read it out loud. Among them meaning the downsides to this, are that some clients are difficult to work with, pay sometimes does not match the duties, and the work field, and the work field is why don't we just say that field is and match duties, and that field is okay. See again, I have to go back and look at it again. Among them are that some clients are difficult to work with, pay sometimes does not match the duties, and the field is overly saturated and I'd say highly competitive. Excuse me. It's a little bit more, how do I say it, sophisticated than very. According to Personal Trainer Stats, All You Need to Know by Tyler Reed, fitness instructors' job growth has increased, a quote, increased by 21.5% from 2012 number of 267,000. Okay, so several things here. According to Personal Trainer Stats, All You Need to Know by Tyler Reed, I would put this in front. This is part of the, and I would take the fitness instructor, the F, and make it lowercase because it's really not an uppercase. It's not the name of a position per se. Now, if you handed somebody your card and you were a fitness instructor, yes, that's your title, but this is not a title, it's just a job here. Okay, job growth for fitness instructors has increased by 21% from 2012 number of 267. Okay, that doesn't make sense. Increased by, it's almost like they needed to put the word the in. So if they didn't, that's where you can put it in brackets. Okay. Now, it looks like you have already told me everything I need to know, so you don't have to put an insight quotation there, but okay, but where is that person? Tyler Reed. Okay, so do we have a Tyler Reed? No, we don't. And actually, it would be Reed Tyler. You still have to have Reed Tyler here and put it in the proper format. All right. I've also noticed that this is not there's some work that needs to be done on this as well. But let's go back. Okay. So I might want to remind myself that this one is, and then insert a comment. Let's move here. Okay. So where would I have that? Not on works cited. Okay. This shows that there are more people entering this career field in numbers. You ask me how you can take there are and there out, there is and it is out. This is how you do it. This indicates that more people entering this career are entering this career field in numbers that exceed the number of jobs available. Okay, here we go. With so many workers, it is hard for each worker to stand out when they all do the same services, resulting in many attempting to stand out to their clients. Okay, this could be cleaned up a bunch. Let me go to the insert again and put this over here. First want to take a deal there. Well, fitness instructors find themselves vying for a few jobs. So naturally, they want to stand out, or they want to make a name for themselves. That's basically what you're saying. Okay, so I'd take that other part out. Unfortunately, in a market when appearance is your brand, standing out is based only if you look fit. Okay. In a market where it should see where, because a market's a place. Appearance is your brand. Standing out is based on our, okay. Did you say standing out over here? Standing out, what is that? Okay, I guess you can put it that way for right now. It's based only through looking fit. And you know what? I would just take that out because I don't think you're quoting it. And that's not, I mean, we say that all the time. So it's not just confined to a 2-word phrase. In fact, it is common. Okay, so what about this? In fact, clients commonly discriminate against someone an instructor or refuse his service because in fact, client commonly discriminate against us or refuse a service because they do not like the appearance I wouldn't even say of the instructor. Taking that into consideration, you're more than likely competing with others who have been training for years or who have better genetics than you, resulting in clients wanting fast results even if the trader is not confident. Okay, so I think you're talking about it could be a false assumption or it could be it could be valid. Taking into consideration, some instructors hit the jackpot genetically and look fit, even though they might not be fit. That does not mean that these gods and goddesses of the gym can help you on your journey to fitness. Okay, and I think that's what you're saying. That does not mean that these gods and goddesses of the gym can help you on your journey to fitness. Okay, that's basically what you're saying. Again, I'm revising it. Okay, so now we're going from the negatives to the first thing that this person mentioned that needed to be done. Nevertheless, despite the negatives, see, I love that. That's a great transition rolling out of the negative one. Many people do not realize that fitness instructors also help clients with nutrition. That's beautiful. As many professional instructors will tell you, the best exercise program will not be effective if the client has a bad diet. That is true due to body requiring. Okay, now, right now, that's a run-on sentence. Okay, now you start a new one. This is a new thought. That is true due to the body requiring, all right, the best exercise program. Okay. Okay, why don't you just say, this is because the human body requires nutritious foods that energize and sustain the client. Okay. Don't start with a 75% like that. Just why don't you just put almost? Almost 75% of people in America could tell you that they have a healthy diet. Okay. Think they have a healthy diet, because this is a compound sentence, because here's the next thought. The statistics according to CDC, and okay, now, first of all, you need to say it is the Center for Disease Control, I believe. Okay, so you're going to have to spell it out first, then you can do that. And put it in parentheses, and then from then on, you could say CDC. But the statistics, according to Center for Disease Control, Okay, let me go back. Almost 75% of people in America think they have a healthy diet, but but statistics from the you can cut it down. But you could do it several ways. You could do it this way. According to statistics from the Center for Disease Control, I'm not really sure what's going on here. It shouldn't be underlined. It shouldn't be a link. Just 1 in 10 adults meet the federal fruit or vegetable recommendations. To break it down, many individuals have an idea of what is healthy, but lack the knowledge of what specific types of foods their body needs. Well, since you said many individual, then they have more than one body. So you're going to have to take the need out. Okay. Although many lack the vegetables and fruits category in their diet, why don't you just say lack sufficient vegetables in their diet? That does not necessarily mean that, okay, although many lack, that does not mean that a nutrition plan this diet is one size, one type fits all. Okay. Macronutrients, comma, including protein, fat, and carbohydrates are a staple in a healthy, balanced diet. And, comma, okay, and, comma, without them, our bodies would fail to perform necessary tasks like rebuilding muscle tissue for growth, hormones, and even something as simple as energy. I'm not really sure. I think we got lost here because macronutrients, including protein, fat, and carbohydrates, are a staple in a healthy, balanced diet. And without them, our bodies would fail to perform necessary tasks like rebuilding muscle tissue for growth. Okay, I think that is would fail to perform necessary tasks like rebuilding tissue, like what it needs to be parallel. Because, okay, so we need to say, what's an ing word that would go before hormones? I don't know if it's maintaining or increasing or keeping hormones level, maybe. And okay, would fail to perform necessary tasks like rebuilding muscle tissue for growth, would fail to perform necessary tasks like keeping hormones level, and would fail to perform necessary tasks like maintaining stamina, maybe, which is your energy. Okay, so I could probably take that part out. For example, What about if a person has, why don't you just say his body cannot properly remove waste. Okay, and then I will put that there and then say, if he is considerably underweight, he requires a high protein diet consisting of, okay, all right. A fitness instructor would not set a high protein diet because his body does not need it. Okay. I'd just say need it. I'm not sure because you're mixing in that you're underweight and all that. I don't know. I'm getting confused in here. So enlighten me. I'm thinking you're talking about a hypothetical person, then you start talking about yourself. So the instructor's job, the fitness expert, you could just call him something else. Job is to tailor his diet to his own, put it in third person, individual needs and not someone else's. An interview, in an interview with that, okay, this happens. Okay, I'm going to, but you can kind of see when you're reading this out loud that you're trying to catch mistakes that you make. See, I caught a sentence fragment, I caught a run-on sentence, I saw things that should be moved around, things that should be taken out. So you need to just dedicate a certain amount of hours, probably a couple of hours to do that. But I'm going to go on here. I'm not going to be that mean to y'all. But do you see the problem that I see? I see that these are not alphabetized and the person did not put the last name first and the first name last. Okay, so we're going to go over here and put Robeson. I'm sorry, I think it was David, but I'm not sure. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to go David. That should be in quotation marks. Okay, there are way too many lines here. So we've got John, whatever that last name is. Okay, and you put a question mark there. I mean, not question mark, quotation mark. Okay, then you've got Rizzo. Oh, let me go back. Nicholas is spelled different ways sometimes. Okay. Nicholas. Make sure you don't misspell their names. Okay, so this should be that with this. And the magazine is italicized. That's good. Okay, I'm not, this should, oh yeah, it should. Okay. All right, never mind. This one, I'm really not sure. I'm thinking that this is the first name, but I could be wrong. Could be wrong. But I would check that. Oh, goodness. Here we go. Okay. And I would do that. Okay, and then quotation marks, put a comma, quotation marks, space, and your margins are off on this. Okay, so then this one is Wanda. You're going to put a period after that. Okay, and then you're going to put the name of the article in quotation marks. Then I don't know what the rest of this other one is. Now, supposedly I'm going to make this smaller. Supposedly you have made sure you have 1-inch margins all the way around. I don't know. I'm going to presume that, but if it were mine, I would check it. Okay. So first of all, I want to do this. There are too many lines in between. So I'm going to go to right click and I'm going to go to my paragraph, and I can already tell you that the margins are off. Look at this. That should be 0. This should be 0. And this should be 0. This should be hanging, and it should be double spaced. Now, again, look at that. All of these are 0 over here, please. Now, if you have the Teams version, or I'm sorry, Outlook version, then you're going to have some boxes over here, but there are 4 of them. Where they're placed doesn't make any difference. Click on don't add space between paragraphs. Okay, now I'm going to go okay, and for the most part, in fact, it pretty much looks good. Be sure at the very end that you put periods. After HTML, all of those need to have periods. That one does. Okay, never mind. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to put a period here. And this is non-negotiable. I think this one needed to be HTML. All right, so let's look at it now. It looks better. But remember, we got to go to Times New Roman. Go to the right thing here. Times New Roman, and then you go to 12. All right. But still, it looks like this person hit justified. I don't know why it looks like that. Let me go back here. Maybe the person just put undue spacing in there, but yeah, the spacing's off on this. You know that because there's just one, should just be one space there. So that looks good. This does not look good. Okay, there's that. Now, read. Okay, let's go here. Actually, that goes out. This goes in. And if you have to hit tab, then you have to hit tab. Yeah, this one's weird. Okay, I'm going to highlight this again. I don't know what the person did, but let's see if we can get this little puppy to work. Okay, so let's go to 0 and double. It should be fine now. Okay, so let me go to hanging. And then it should do okay. Okay. And it did. All right, so now we have an issue here. Oh, by the way, that goes that way. And let me go hanging. And when I did all of that flush left, then it made my works cited go over here. You got to make sure that that's centered there. Okay, so this guy here goes here, and I'm going to go to, yeah, something got messed up on this. So let's go to paragraph, and we got a problem here. We want to go to hanging. We want to go here. Okay, now that one looks okay. All right, so the first one that's the first one that should go at the top is the one that starts with a B. So I'm going to go Command X and I'm going to put it at the top. Remember, this has to be um, alphabetized by the author's last name. And in the case that there isn't one, such as U.S. Bureau, well, then you would do it by the article title. Okay, so Robeson comes after Rizzo. Okay, so we go. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Okay. All right. So BRR. Okay, so US comes after Thibodeau. Whoop. So I'm going to go to Control X. I'm going to go down here, Control V. And you know what? This read guy goes up here, Control X. He will go here, but you got to go back in and do that. Okay, so you're going to have to put read in there. So here we go. This one with the last name first, then Reed, then Rizzo, then Robeson, then Thibodeau, and then U.S. Bureau. Now it's capitalized. Now, if you look at it, something's whack. Well, no, I think it'll be okay. You should have a 1-inch margin. Okay, so that's as far as I'm going to get on this. You need to go read each one of your paragraphs. And then on Thursday, we're going to check each paragraph against the rubric. So you get to decide what your grade's going to be. And that's the beauty of it. You do, if you just want to get a C on it, well, then give me this information. You want an A? Give me this information. Okay, so that is it for the revising and editing. It's probably too long, but do make sure that if you mentioned whatever it is in here, and maybe you gave me all the information, and that's great. You don't have to put an in-text citation, but it sure better be on your works cited. And everything in the works cited has got to be mentioned up here, whether you spelled everything in a sentence that said this is who it is and this is what happened or whatever, or you put it in text citation. You can try to, I'd probably try to put it in the in-text citation as much as you can. But that it's just like a mathematical equation. The amount of sources over here equals the amount of sources you have over here. And that's if you use just one each. Okay, thank you for your time.